This is the Recycling, Scrap Metal, Commodities, and Economic Report, January 20th, 2025. U.S. weekly raw steel production rose to 1.66 million tons, up 1.8% from last year, and up 1.3% year-to-date on the slow U.S. manufacturing economy. WTI crude oil price rose to $77.89 a barrel, off even higher during the week. The ceasefire in the Middle East helped lower prices, but it was still the fifth week of gains. New sanctions on Russian oil and cold weather both raised prices. U.S. weekly crude oil production fell slightly to 13.498 million barrels per day, remaining near the recent record high. The U.S. could raise production to 15 million plus barrels per day in the next 24 months and increase oil exports. Russian and Iranian sanctions are great for U.S. oil and natural gas. The U.S. weekly oil rig count fell slightly to 478 on great productivity per well. Increased rigs are coming, which is great for U.S. jobs. Scrap steel number one HMS composite price was steady at $323.33 a gross ton. February pricing is unknown. Lower steel volumes are hurting demand, but bad U.S. weather is hurting scrap supply. Hot rolled coil steel price fell slightly to $34.75 per hundredweight, which is $6.95 a ton. This was on slow U.S. demand and strong, lower-cost imports coming mostly from Canada and Mexico. Copper price rose to $4.35 a pound, a two-month high. This is on strong Chinese production data and strong Chinese exports. Aluminum price rose to $1.22 a pound, which is $26.82 a metric ton, as new sanctions on Russian exports, but there was record Chinese aluminum production and good Chinese manufacturing data that we just talked about. Global 2025 IMF, the International Monetary Fund, economic forecast increased to 3.3% from 3.2%. This was driven by the U.S. forecast was raised to 2.7%, China's was raised to 4.6%, and the Eurozone was lowered to 1.0%. India was steady at 6% as the U.S. growth is being driven by services. China Q4 total economic growth accelerated to 5.4%, ahead of expectations. The total year was 5.0%. As a note, U.S. GDP is about 2.75%. Exports in December were the highest in 3 years to beat possible coming tariffs. U.S. December retail sales grew at 3.9% versus last year, which was slowing but good. Miscellaneous retail stores rose while building suppliers fell. U.S. December core inflation, which excludes volatile food and energy, it fell to 3.2%, better than forecast, which caused a major rise on Wall Street. Shelter rose 4.6%, but was the least in about 3 years. Motor vehicle insurance, medical care, and education all rose. U.S. December industrial production rose 0.5% over November, the first gain in 6 months. Utilities and mining increased, while manufacturing stalled. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average jumped 1,550 points to 43,488, the largest weekly gain since November. Easing inflation was fueling optimism for interest rate cuts. This is Greg Brown reporting from Down Under with the Kangaroos. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.